You're listening to the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex 45. Another epic weekend of racing across the world between MotoGP, World Superbike, MotoAmerica. I was fortunate enough to be at the MotoAmerica round at Road America, first time there. Very cool location. I'm a fan of Milwaukee, I'm not going to lie. Got a nice vibe to it. I might even go back there another time. Lots to talk about tonight, but like I always want to thank the fans, the folks that are saying what's up, the folks that are commenting and subscribing. Really appreciate it. Definitely go to the website, beforevercool.com, and become a member, become a subscriber. Help support the program, help support what we're doing here, because we're doing some really cool things and really cool things coming up on the horizon. So can't wait to tell you guys about it and all that fun stuff. We want to shout out Woodcraft, as always. We are affiliated with Woodcraft, so mention Rexy and get hooked up and get some good gear, because Woodcraft, I mean, most of the races they use Woodcraft gear, rear sets, clip-ons, Hindle exhaust, armor body. I got all that. You see it on my R6 there. So definitely do that. We also run Pirelli tires at the moment. So definitely check out Mark 10 Motorsports here in Florida. Mention beforevercool.com. Get some Pirelli slicks for the track. And go ride, go race, go to the track. You know what I'm saying? It's all that. So without no further ado, let's get the gang in here and chop it up about what's happening, because a lot's happened. And, as you know already, it's going to be a fun night. TJ, man, welcome to the show, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Just recovering, just getting my energy back. It's a long weekend of watching racing. And then I had my first weekend back on track in 11 months. So it's a good time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man. I mean, what has it been
Been a
like for
while.
you? Taking 11 months off. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You started. Was it before the pandemic? After the pandemic, you started racing?
I started in 2020. So yeah, it's during the pandemic. Yeah,
So
it's pandemic
2020,
time.
you know what I'm saying? So what is it like, racing and kind of being in the swing of things and then taking 11 months off and coming back out?
I mean, I planned on racing more last year, but some things came up where I had to unfortunately, you know, go that direction. But
Life happens, man.
yeah, and then the winter hit, so it sucked. It sucked. I was looking forward to getting back on track for a long time. I did miss round one, so that's another month added to it, but it was a good time. Loudon brings its problems always. It was one of the days. It was really cold, rainy, windy, lost the canopy, already. So it was fun overall, though, seeing all my friends that we used to seeing on the track and share memories again.
Yeah, it's always. I mean, I think that's one of the coolest part about it. It's like, for folks that had the opportunity to go to summer camp, it's like, you get to see your friends again, but it's racing and you have your track, for lack of a better word, you have your track family, because you chop it up. It's people you only see at the track, and that's the only time you really hang out with people. When you're not at the track, you're not reaching out to them or anything like that. So it's always cool to see. And even over the years now, just seeing people come and go and then come back is really cool to see.
Yeah, no, it was good to see. I mean, there's a lot of people that are still not out there yet, but it's going to be a quick turnaround. We got the classic in a few weeks, so hopefully the weather's a lot better. And yeah, it's always good to see the race family.
Yeah.
That is just one thing I always look forward to, even if I don't race. It's just being around the race family.
Yeah, no doubt. Yep, the classic is coming up on the weekend of the 19th. I'm going to be there for that. Not racing unless I can convince Reese or somebody to bring my bike up. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. And we'll see how many of these. We'll talk about it on the show. How many of these, MotoAmerica guys are going to show up this year? Because there was a good amount last year and the year before. So you got $250,000 on the line, man. That's some good money.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good turnout. I mean, every year there's always been some MotoAmerica racer or ex-racer, but the turnout's always been better since it started. So hopefully it just continues, and the purse keeps getting bigger. I mean, that purse is huge. So
No doubt.
it's just people are afraid to come to Loudon. They say it's a dangerous track. So
Yeah, but we'll talk about that. Reese, man, good to see you again. It seems like it's been forever. What's good, man?
What's good, man? It's great to see you this weekend, man. Long weekend.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's pretty impressive, though. You know what I'm saying? You guys get on the podium and finish up front. So it has to feel good at a weekend where, it might have suited Ducati and the BMW.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't the results that you always want, but at the end of the day, it was good results because you knew that going into this round, that the Ducatis and BMW was strong because there's long front straightaways and back straightaways. So, they can exploit their power. But we got out of there with the maximum points, got on the podium 2 times in a row, and top 5 finish for each guy. So, came out still good results, and then both guys came home and no, still got the winglets on there. Don't have to worry about replacing those.
There you go. There you go. The Spurs and the Knicks are in the finals, man. I mean, are you drinking the Kool-Aid that Wimby's doing right now?
I mean, in that case, I'm going to give it to the Spurs. I mean, I definitely hope the Spurs win. I don't want to see the Knicks win, but I'm just going to keep it honest. I'd rather see the Spurs win, but we'll see what happens. See what happens and come this first game. See who shows up.
No doubt, we're gonna see. I mean, it's been a while since the Knicks won a championship.
It has been a while. And second and foremost, man, I'd definitely like to give a shout out to all the fans and everybody that showed up this weekend because it was one hell of a turnout.
Yeah, man, we're gonna talk more about it in the show for sure. It was for me, it felt, it felt bigger than Coda at MotoGP to me.
Yeah, it was really loud. It was really packed. So I mean, like you said, we'll talk about it in the show, but I definitely had to give them much respect because as JD said, without them, there is no us, man.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure. Numbers guy, what's good, man? How you doing, man? Your passport's good. Everything is good. You got all your visas.
Yeah, I'm back, man. I've been super busy, so I haven't been on I wasn't on last week. Missed a couple of episodes, but I'm back. I'm 100% focused. Reese is dead to me for rooting against the Knicks. I need the Knicks to win to get the monkey off my back because the joke or the ongoing joke is the Knicks haven't won since I was born.
Yeah,
so for some whatever reason, possibly I cursed them, and I'm hoping that the curse is finally off my back this year after 53 years, and they finally get another banner up in the garden because I've been low key a Knicks fan for a long time, and it's just painful after 5 decades of not getting where we want to get and thinking that back in '99 we were a minute away, 1 bucket away. And then before that, we had Patrick Ewing was infamous, should have dunked it, but laid it up and missed the layup game. So, I've been there for all the heartache, man. So I'm pulling for the Knicks, man. It's going to be a tough one, though. Right. I give you that. I am glad that the Spurs made it. OKC sucks, bunch of floppers, worst team in basketball. I hope that the NBA does something about it. I know it's a motorcycle podcast, but I hope the NBA does something about flopping, man. You should get a technical, and if you do it twice in a game, you get ejected. Because This is the lamest way to win games is flopping.
I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but are there the Joanne Mayer championship of the NBA they won last year?
I'll tell you what, man. I won't disrespect Johan Mir that much because that's heavy disrespect, but that was definitely not a good year for the NBA. That was not a good look for the NBA for them to win last year. So I'm glad that they got booted by the superior team in basketball quality. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, no, which is very impressive in itself because, last year they were like second to last or something like that, or maybe the year before. So the turnaround, this is Wemby's second year, right?
Yeah. And the other thing is, Popovich is up there in years. He's having some health struggles. So even if the Knicks were to not do it and the Spurs won it, I wouldn't mind that either because, Pop to get one more win it just, it ends an illustrious career, man.
Yeah, for sure. And
No love. Dang, man.
a little bit of love there. But I'm trying to be kind to Lewis because change is tough in New York. So
it is, man. I mean, it's been a rough couple decades, man. We have not had too much fun in the championship column.
So I'll save it for after the series is over, and then I'll give my opinion.
Respond accordingly.
He lost all the love for me, man. Like, jeez, and fucking New Yorkers.
But I think the Spurs do. I think the Spurs, they have the expertise, and to do it because they've been doing it. They got 5 rings or whatever they have. So,
either way, the Knicks fans are going to go down to Texas and make it really tough on the crowd there. They're just ruckus everywhere they go, man. You can't take them anywhere.
Listen, man, I think New York can go anywhere, but Texas, they might be tough.
The problem is there's New Yorkers everywhere. There's not Texans everywhere. Texans stay next.
They're home.
New Yorkers spread, yo.
And they had Charles Barkley tell it, they got some big women down. So
they do.
So that'll bring even more New Yorkers.
It sounds like you're speaking from experience there, Lewis.
Nah, this is what I heard.
Let's dive in. Let's talk about MotoAmerica first before we go overseas, man. And let, like Reese allude to, I was able to take in for the first time. Let's talk about the crowd at MotoAmerica this weekend. And there's no official numbers out, but I've heard something like double to as low as 30%. What does it say for what MotoAmerica is doing, what everyone that's associated with MotoAmerica is doing as far as the growth? We'll start with TJ. I know you wasn't there, but you kind of heard the rumors.
That is very impressive because just where they travel to and where the tracks are, just to attract the fans. Like for yourself, being on the East Coast, you went all the way to watch MotoAmerica. So it's really good to see that a lot of fans are in tune with the sport and showing up. I wish I could have went, but it's a little far for me. But yeah, it's good. I wish also when they're like racing, they pan more on more of the crowd just to see and show like who's actually there. There's just a couple of turns where you can see people in the distance, but being such a big track, I don't think there's too many grandstands like that. So, but that's pretty awesome to have a turnout such large like that for a MotoAmerica event.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I think they do have to showcase it more of what's going on. What are your thoughts, Reese? Man, you were there. You've been there. You've been going to this thing for a while now. Is it the biggest crowd you've seen, and maybe by what percent you can guesstimate?
I mean, it's a big crowd. I mean, it was bigger than last year. I mean, last year was pretty big, and I know last year they set record numbers, and from what I hear, they set record numbers as of Saturday. So that wasn't including Sunday. And I think it was as of 11 o'clock a.m., it was still a long line to get in from what I was hearing. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. But to elaborate on TJ's, comment, Road America is one of those tracks where it's hard to kind of pinpoint everybody because it's 4-mile track and it's so spread out. But the problem is a lot of people, even though you don't see them like a big pile on television, they're down in the trails on that long back straightaway. And then that new section they put in, like that beach area over there across the bridge, they're there. They're in Canada Corner. They're coming there. If you look down the front straightaway, there was a bunch of people sitting on the far side where they used to have the old podium at. They were there. And then just a lot of guys where I think it was like 1, 2, 3. I think it was 4 or 5, corner 4 or 5. They were down there. But a lot of the people sit back there in that back straightaway section because they want to see especially a lot of them want to see that top speed, and then they want to see them come out of the carousel going into the chicane. So that's where a lot of people will be at, and then coming up the front straightaway up that hill. But yeah, the numbers this year was pretty amazing, especially sitting out there on the grid. When everybody came out there on the grid, I couldn't even get back through. It took me 10 minutes just to get to P3.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I mean, cutting through for me, and just going to the first 3 rounds, and in this round, I was saying "excuse me" a lot. It was like excuse me, which is pretty crazy. And what's interesting, you say people want to be on the back straight to listen. I mean, bro, when the superbikes go down the straightaway,
you can hear them.
It's like I was just like, yeah, I got to cover my ears. Like, I got to start walking with earplugs because I can't sustain this.
No, like you can't. Like even like there was a couple times I went to the wall, and it just as they're coming by, it almost felt like the wall just wanted to be sucked out and just like, here, take the wall, and it's bouncing off the wall. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm getting off this wall. And just standing there at the end for the final lap and them coming through, I'm like, I'm not standing here for this whole thing. I did that before. I'm not doing it. It's like, this is nuts. Yeah. But yeah, it's just them coming through that front straightaway is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It was pretty wild to see. Lewis, man, I know you got the numbers, so tell us, man, what you know that happened. I think you're on mute, my brother.
There we go. So I know last year they set the attendance record. It was just under 48,000 fans at MotoAmerica last year. And the people at MotoAmerica every year kind of reach out and always, for the sponsors and for vendors and so forth, tell everybody, like, this is the event you want to go to. This is the highest attended event. And it's shown like progression year over year over year that this has become almost the gem in the entire season when it comes to attendance and to turnout. And this year they've had really good turnout. Like Road Atlanta had really good turnout. Barber had really good turnout. So there's definitely an upward trend. Either MotoAmerica is finally starting to catch on. People are starting to go out to these events and see the value in going out and having a family weekend at these events. This year, I've heard different numbers. The official numbers haven't been released. I think they'll probably be released in the next couple of days. Because they're going to use that as leverage to try to pre-sell tickets for next year. Right, and, even right now, they're already pre-selling tickets for next year. They just went on sale today. So this is really becoming like a benchmark event for MotoAmerica. And like I said, this might be the coda of their season. Like this might be their premier track event. And it's in the perfect location, man. It's in the Midwest. It's not too far from Harley Davidson. There's a lot of population base to pull from that's very close to that track. So most people only have to drive maybe 3 hours or 4 hours to get. And it's not just one city, it's multiple big cities that are very, very close.
There was some definitely Chicago plates up there for sure. Illinois,
yeah. I would say. So you've got Chicago, you've got, Wisconsin, you've got Milwaukee, you got all these cities. So if you think about other tracks like that, the only other track that can pull from that many cities that close, if you think about it, New Jersey can do it because it's got Philadelphia, New York, and New Jersey all there. Yep. So I hope that I see New Jersey pulling out big time. I know last year we went to the final event and it was pretty packed.
Right. So go ahead.
I think if I had to guess from what I heard, I'm going to say maybe close to 60,000 people over the 3 days.
Okay. That's some good numbers. And,
Can't forget about Ontario too, because I did see a couple of Canadians there. They were there.
And I'll tell you what, 60,000 is not bad when you think about the fact that MotoGP at COTA doesn't average that much more than 60,000.
And, we're going to take a little bit of credit for that for the Be Forever Cool podcast. Take a little bit of credit for them numbers going up.
Yeah, of course. People knew we were there.
Officially, unofficially, we're doing that. But let me ask this, Lewis. I did see a lot of vendors that I didn't see at the other 3 rounds. And a lot of like 18-wheeler wheeler. They're pulling in on, not even just like sprinter van. There's anything wrong with sprinter vans or anything like that. How can this event spread to the other locations as far as?
It's really hard. Like there's some events that MotoAmerica goes to that I don't think will ever be successful, or at least not successful to the point that you would want them to be successful. Coda is just a gigantic track. So even if you get 20,000, 30,000 people there, it looks like there's 9 people there when they pan out to the crowd because it's just a massive track. The Ridge is in the middle of nowhere. I know some people like that track, but it really is in the middle of nowhere. It only has maybe one city it can pull from. It's like 3 hours away. So there's just some tracks that don't lend themselves to be as successful as this track. Laguna Seca, great venue, wonderful place, tiny little town, super expensive to go there. It's several hours from a major city. So you'd have to come from San Francisco. You'd have to come down from Washington State. Like there's not a big population base to pull from. So I just think Road America is one of those tracks. Mid-Ohio could be there too. Like Mid-Ohio, now that Pittsburgh is no longer on the schedule, like Mid-Ohio could grow because the people that would normally have gone to Pittsburgh now will go to Mid-Ohio.
Okay.
And maybe we split the state in half, and the eastern part of Pennsylvania now comes to New Jersey. So there are tracks that I think lend themselves to continue to grow. Road Atlanta, I would like to see Road Atlanta grow more. I think they just need to get a little bit more push through in actual marketing to the Atlanta area, because if you're not deep in motorcycle racing, deep in the motorcycle community, 9 out of 10 people that I meet at events have no idea the names of even one racer in MotoAmerica. They don't even know there is a MotoAmerica for most part.
Right. Yeah.
And this is I hope that MotoAmerica continues to push, but they've got to put some funding into getting the word out to the general riding public that this is happening, because only people that know this is happening know that it's happening. It's not really going out to a lot of people. And maybe this year with like the Samsung TV deal and them trying to get more and more racers into local news stations a few days before the event to kind of let people know, hey, this event is happening like an hour and a half from here. You should come out, bring your kids. It's a great day to come out. And you can't afford to go to Disney because it costs more to go to Disney than it does to go to Japan at this point. So save your money and spend a weekend out with your kids watching people go really fast on motorcycles.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's segue right into talking about people that go really fast on motorcycles. Let's talk about the super sport class in MotoAmerica. I mean, we talked about it on the last show, the top 4 guys. Somebody pointed out like it was on point to talk about Tyler Scott chucking it down the road for the bad luck he's had, and then he kind of does it in the first race and kind of redeemed himself. What are your thoughts, TJ, on the super sport class? And I'll say this: Kayla reminds me of Canon Chu in World Superbike. If it ain't first place, they just want to kick rocks. What are your thoughts on the super sport races this weekend?
I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, I don't remember what race that Tyler Scott went down in turn 1.
He made a mistake, but
well, I mean, yeah, the pressure was on with Binder and Heron and him jamming into that corner, so he got the worst of it. But I thought it was a really good race between all of them, and it's really good to see that Kayla's still fighting for the front. She had her chances leading the pack for a few turns, and for some reason, like Darren Bender is just on another level. It's like you show him the track, he learns the lines, and then he just puts his gear in, and then he just takes off. Like him and Josh Heron fighting with each other, nice battles. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool for like race 1. Darren Bender took that. Kayla got on the podium, so it's good to see also old veteran Josh Hayes keep up with the pack. So yeah, it was a good race 1. Like this track, you can actually like flex the bike. Just some heartbreaking points, but you can really get on that gas. So.
Yeah, I agree, man. Pretty wild. What are your thoughts, Reese, man, on the weekend? I mean, not the weekend with the Super Sport. You heard Kayla. You were busy. I don't know if you heard. But Josh and even Darren a little bit. And Kayla talked about the changes that were made to the class. So the Ducati's a little bit down on power, and they feeling like now the Jixxa is the cheetah bike. It felt like Tyler Scott was kind of just playing with them, and we all kind of saw it in one of the laps when he kind of made that mistake with Josh in turn one, like a few laps before, and he caught up to Kayla pretty quickly and passed her. What are your thoughts, man?
I did hear some of the rule changes, with the Ducati, Yamaha, and the Suzuki. They did do certain things, try to make it a little bit more even class. But at the end of the day, if you look at it, the top three guys is a Ducati, from Kayla to Darren to Josh. Your top three people are the Ducati people. But, everyone's starting to step their game up. They're starting to step their level up. And it's actually, it's been a dogfight. It's almost like a freaking Moto2. You are in a dogfight from green to checkered. You are in a dogfight all the way. If you're the top guys, it's a dogfight. And even in the middle pack, it's still a dogfight. You still got Hayes back there battling these guys, and to see Hayes up there in race 2 and almost have a podium, it's still amazing. That means you can see that there's things coming along. Just like Lewis said, I wish, in this series, in that class, MotoAmerica would actually change it and put the Super Sport actually live and show these guys, because it's the actual dogfight. And some of the races that they have, Jesus Christ, man, you're like on the edge of your seat the whole entire race. There's some passes and stuff like that you're just like, how the hell did you do that? And why? Josh was right there with Darren until a little incident, until he went down in race 2. Kayla, she's coming along very, very well. You can see that she's not happy where she's sitting at. She wants to win. So she's going to be up there. It's just a matter of time.
Right.
So Josh is there. I still see Blake. He's having a little bit of issues and struggles, but he's still coming along. So all these guys are right there. Dominic Doyle. So it's a dogfight, man. It is literally a dogfight all the way.
I agree. Why do you think that Kayla suffered more than Darren and Josh this weekend? She's the only one that really, they all kind of accepted the change. Obviously, they all accepted the change and what the rules are. But she seemed to suffer the most. Is it just more the team just got to figure things out to kind of get the bike aligned with the other two bikes, or something else?
Well, there's a combination of things. First of all, is your riding style. If you actually notice Kayla, she's one of the few, maybe only one. She takes both legs. Like, she'll take that right leg off and let it hang. If you watch her, that right leg comes off. So that's a different play, a different style of play. The tire setup. A lot of people are having trouble with tire setup, tire wear, suspension setup. So there's different styles and different play that comes into it. And then every track is different. So,
right. So let me ask this, because we were talking about it in the media center with some of the other guys, and I was like, she's Aaron Canet, because Aaron Canet does that, and I'm wondering, is it geometry set up? Is the bike just raised the bike up to maybe get more cornering, but now her body is just further away from the pegs and she has no choice?
I don't know. I talked to her dad. I always see her dad when he comes up to, he comes out on the Dunlop. I just happen to be there sometimes, and I'll talk to him. But I don't know. It could just be a feel for her, and she's just comfortable. Yeah. Some people are comfortable doing it, and I'm just like, it looks so odd to me, and I'm just watching like, oh, she's normal. I'm thinking she's falling, but it's just normal for her. It's just weird, but it could be normal.
And the right leg come off, so your torso's holding you up. So to me, I don't know. I like my legs, and I feel like I need to use them, but apparently not.
I feel like when she does that, is she holding more? Is she using more of her arms to hold on, instead of her legs. Because I know, when legs come over, it's more your legs holding and everything else. But it's like you got nothing there. So I don't even think she has a bump on the back. Like I don't think she has a bump at all. I'm like, is there something going on?
Maybe it gives more leverage to her upper body. You know what I mean? But we'll have to ask. I have to ask her.
That's the question I asked.
You know what I'm saying? Lewis, man, you weren't there, but you saw it. What are your thoughts of the weekend? Blake was up there. Alexandro, these guys that they're coming. Aiden Sneed, as you heard Reese talk about it, it's like the top four are there, but these other riders are figuring it out, starting to figure it out.
Yeah, the top people that are there should be there because if you look at the names of the who's at the front, they should be at the front. Like, I don't expect to see Josh Herron in the 8th place. I don't expect to see Binder in 7th, 8th place. Like, these are the guys I expect to be at the front. Everybody knows that they are the benchmark for talent in this class right now. And, Kayla's coming along as well. But those two guys should be at the front every single weekend. And, this whole kind of little fake controversy of like, oh, we're the Ducatis are being penalized. If the Ducatis are being penalized so badly, why are they still on the podium? 1, 2, 3. Why are the ones that are having the most success week in and week out are the Ducatis? Like, yeah, sometimes MotoAmerica needs to step in and add a little bit of parity because you don't want it to turn into the Ducati Cup. Because if everybody knows that this is the bike to be on, because it has all this extra power, all this extra RPM, can do all this extra stuff, then why even bother bringing out a Suzuki? Why even bother coming out here with an R9? Like, just give up.
Lewis, Tyler Scott got pole position, and he looked like a cat playing with a mouse.
But here's the thing: do you think Tyler Scott is not a talented rider?
Oh no, I definitely think he's a talented rider.
Okay, so there has to be some parity because he's been on their tails this entire season. It's not like he came from 9th place and all of a sudden he got pole position. Like, he's been in the mix since Daytona. So it's not something new. It's just now that they're trying to work something out to make it a little bit more balanced. Where's the other Gixxer in that class?
Well, I'll say this, and I'm only repeating what I heard. The Gixxer got more mid-range, and the Ducati's got less top end.
Yeah, but the Gixxer's always had more mid-range.
No,
like that's
the rule change.
Yeah, but that's even before the rule change. Yeah. The Gixxer was always known to have low end, mid end grunt, and then they run out of legs at the top. Like, that's been the Gixxer, 600 and 750 identity forever. And the R6 was the opposite. The R6 had nothing below 11,997 RPM, and then above that, it had 130 horsepower. Whereas the Ducati, being a V twin, it's got a balance. It balanced very well. It's got torque at the bottom, and then it does have top end. So you've got to find a way to make all these work. Hey, they took the swing arm away from the R9, and Josh Hayes is still up there in the front battling, and maybe, moving that needle a little bit on the Ducatis is balancing it out, because I'm pretty sure Ducati was right at the front protesting the swing arm and protesting the airbox on the R9.
Come on.
And now they're getting a little bit of taste of their own medicine. And now we don't like it because it's Ducati. Fuck Ducati, man. Everybody's got to suffer a little bit to make this sport fun, man. I don't want to see the same 7 guys. I don't want to see 1 through 7 all Ducatis because Ducatis have it their way. If you got to suffer a little bit on the Ducati side to make that one guy on the Gixxer competitive and the 3-4 guys on the R9 competitive, then good, do it. I don't want this to be the Ducati Cup, man. That's the problem we had in MotoGP for the past 3-4 years. It became the Ducati Cup. That's what we have right now, World Superbike, the Ducati Cup.
Come on, man. This is
Dude just won 22 races in a row.
This is why the World Moto Cup is happening.
And maybe in 3 rounds, MotoAmerica changes something else. But it obviously wasn't that big a change because who won race 1? Who won race 2? Who was in second place? Race 1. Who was in second place? Race 2. It's still Ducatis. So it couldn't be that bad. If they took 1,800 RPM away from them, then maybe. If Tyler Scott won the race by 17 minutes, then maybe. But now he's just competitive enough to crash within a second of the guys in first and second place, not crash 10 seconds from the guys in first and second place.
Listen, man, we like to work
That
smarter, not
mustache,
harder.
bro. He's
We don't
not
like
going
to
to
work.
win until he shaves that thing, bro.
We don't.
Tell
We
you
don't.
right now.
We don't
I
like
think
to
he
work
shaved it.
hard.
Oh, did he? I didn't see it.
No, I
He
think
did. He
it's-
got rid of it.
Oh, did
See,
he?
Yeah.
and there you go. That's another half a second that he gained by shaving that dead caterpillar on his upper lip. That's why he was crushing it, bro. I've been telling you, as soon as he shaves it, he's going to go faster.
Okay.
He's watching the pod. He listened, and he's like, let me do what Lewis is saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, he got a podium. He got a podium.
It's not. It sounds about right. But let's move over to Superbike, man. I mean, the Ducati, they starting to figure it out. Unfortunately, Cam Bobier went down. Cam Peterson won the first race. Pretty impressive. It's been a long time since he's won. His father was there. It's cool to see in person. You don't realize how much when you're not, what people are going through when they're not winning, right? It's kind of like everybody just sucks it up and do their job kind of thing. But then when they finally win, it's like you see all that emotion comes out. And I kind of took that in on Saturday. So your thoughts on the race, TJ?
Yeah, it sucks that the crash with the champ. We don't want to see Bobier go down. But the race was really aggressive. I thought it was really good to see Cam Peterson be at the top. I haven't seen him race like this in a while, and it's really good to see him at the top. And Sean Dylan Kelly for sure. Just doing wonders with that BMW. It's just making it look good, flexing it. So they had really good battles towards the end of the race. Also impressive, just trusting each other and nice tight battles, and that is another level of racing right there. Just giving each other respect and tight battles. But I thought overall, it was good to see Bobby Fong get a podium. I always like to see the Yamaha guys up there. But I thought it was a really nice race. Seeing Hayden Gillim, Matthew Schultz, but also on him, him being in the lead of the championship before this round. He didn't really have that, grunt on him. I'm not sure exactly what happened for why he's in the back of the pack, but I don't know if he had a bad package. But just within a race, things can change, as we see. Now he's not leading the championship, so we was always seeing Schultz run away, and this race didn't happen. So it just makes things a lot more interesting.
No doubt, no doubt. What are your thoughts, Lewis, man? We're gonna save the Superbike for Reese last on this one because he might have to get some approval of what he can say. But what are your thoughts seeing Cam win, Sean Dylan Kelly come in second, and Bobby Fong back on the podium after struggling a little bit from injuries and stuff like that?
I mean, I'm super happy that Bobby was able to stay on there. I mean, if you looked at the race, this track really does not suit the Yamaha for top end. So, just to see him in the draft and able to stay kind of within a second or two of the guys in front of him and maybe have to brake a little bit later and try to close in on the brakes and, use his different riding style to kind of keep him in fighting distance was great. But, I mean, the Ducati and the BMW just horsepower wise, the Yamaha has nothing for them. I mean, you saw them coming on the front straight, and usually in the front straight there, if you got a good draft, you can draft past the bike in front of you. And when Bobby was in the draft, he was actually getting dropped. He was losing a bike or two bike lengths just going down the front straight, going down the back straight. Even if he started in the draft, he just didn't have the power to pull up alongside them and try to maximize it. So for him to salvage 2 third places throughout the weekend is actually a huge positive for Yamaha. I'm super happy Sean Dylan Kelly finally got his win. I like the guys at Orange Cat. I know he's struggling with some injuries as well. So all in all, a great weekend for those for both teams, and it's great to see them up there. A little bit sad to see Bobier injured again. I mean, the dude seems to have his highs and lows with injuries over the past 4 or 5 years. He's had some really bad ones. A couple years ago, he had what I thought a couple might be career enders. I mean, I know he suffered a few concussions in a row and had some other issues. And now this one, originally it looked like it was his wrist or his arm, But what I'm hearing is that he dislocated his shoulder or popped his arm out of the socket. And sometimes that's something that's not that bad, and other times it's something that's really bad because you could tear ligaments, you can tear tendons, you could do a lot of damage. So hopefully, he can get MRI, see if hopefully he didn't damage anything, he doesn't have any serious injuries. He can rehab it a little bit and be ready for the next round. I hate to see dudes getting hurt, man. In this sport, it's part of the game, but you always hope that they can kind of mitigate the injuries as much as possible. But what can you do? And then as far as Matthew Schultz, I don't know, man. Maybe that motor, the warranty on that motor expired, and now they're trying to find a new motor to put in that bike because from what I hear, they can't buy motors from their original motor supplier. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do now, technically, to keep that bike in as strong a position as possible. Because we saw that the attack Yamahas with nice, fresh, clean attack motors were kind of battling for the podium positions. And that one bike with who knows what motor was pretty far back there and struggling a lot. And even, I think, blew a motor or blew a trans or spun a bearing or something like that. So things are going to get interesting for Strack for sure.
Gotcha. I mean, KTM's going through the same issue as well, and you never know what's going to happen.
KTM can't get parts from Attack. Oh, a different issue. Oh, sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about, Lewis.
I don't know. Sometimes I just blurt things out.
Just every once in a while, man. I mean, what's happening. Take us through roughly what you can as far as the game plan, with this Road America being a bigger track. Well, I guess I'll ask this. How do you feel about the bigger track? I mean, being over 4 miles. And I'm wondering should we have more tracks similar to that? Because some of the European tracks got some size on them as well. But what was the game plan for this weekend? Where that the BMW and the Ducatis had the legs on this bigger track.
Game plan never changes. I mean, of course, you want to win and you want to be up there in the battle, but gain as maximum points as you can. I mean, I know JD talked to me in the beginning, just like, it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be tough because they have the legs to stretch. If you look, and I know they shared it on MotoAmerica, top speed was damn near almost 200 for the Ducatis, and we were about 190. So that's almost 10 miles an hour difference in trap speeds. So that's a big difference. If you look, we were keeping with them in the corner and coming into the braking. So we could draw up on them, or we can get in front of them. You can break their draft so that it can't do nothing. But you can see that, they had the tops, they had the legs. You can actually see that they did have the legs. But like Lewis said, coming away with a 3rd and 5th race 1, and then a 3rd and 4th in race 2. I mean, we gained the most maximum points. I mean, we're sitting in a pretty position, and as everyone sees, is racing. We're not too far back, sitting in 3rd place, and I mean, technically, we're only 1 race out of it. Not even a whole weekend. We're 1 race out of it, so that's literally nothing with all these rounds to go. So anything can happen in racing. I mean, we're coming into tracks that Bobby is strong in, JD is strong in. Coming to the Ridge, the Yamahas are going to be strong. The next stop would be Laguna. A lot of the tracks that we're going to now, we got a strong bike going into. So it's going to be very interesting. And we all talk about Cam. I feel bad for the guy. He's been a friend of mine for many of years. And, I wish him a speedy recovery. I know he did dislocate his shoulder, and it was the same injury he had from before, back in 2017. So he is going to go get it looked at and go get, whatever he needs to get done. And hopefully he's back out there in a timely manner. And, we all talk about Cam, but we can't forget about one of the big elephants in the room, which was Benjamin Smith's accident. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty ugly. I mean, there was, from what the rumors are, or what they're saying, something flew off of another bike in front of him. Came out of the belly pan, and from what it sounds like and what it was, his front wheel went from 100 something plus to 0 like that. It just locked the whole front wheel up. And he showed pictures of the front rim, and it almost looked like an arm just went through it. Something just went through and locked it all up. So it is, this is a dangerous sport. I mean, I've seen that bike come back on a crash truck, and that bike looked like trashed. From what I heard, it came in on the engine frame, and it's going back on an engine frame on the way back. So it was pretty ugly. So I'm glad he's okay too, to come away just only concussion after that. It's pretty bad. I mean, so.
Right. And what are your thoughts on Cam Peterson's win, and being able to do that on a 2-year-old bike, and for years not being able to get a win, which is it's never fun.
I mean, congratulations to him. I went over there and said, when I walked by, I did say congrats. He worked hard for it, and he did what he had to do, and he still was fast during the weekend. You could see it in practice. He did what he had to do on that bike. Even though it's an older bike, but you got to remember that's Warhorse's old bike, and Josh had it dialed in to where they needed to be. So, to come off of that, he did very, very well. And, I did say congratulations, and I'm proud of him for getting the win, getting the monkey off his back.
No doubt. No doubt. We all like that. Let's talk about MotoGP, guys. Mugello, one of my favorite tracks, one of my favorite places to watch the race. It was cool to hear Didier talk about, some of the memories he had when he was younger, and, some of the stuff he saw from the fans doing that were illegal, that you're going to mention on here. I can only imagine. And, I took a nap on the hill. So, it's a fun time in Mugello. We'll go around the room and talk about it. Let's talk about the sprint race and the GP race. We wanted to see the Italians win it. For the most part, they were pretty competitive all weekend. What are your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, you want to see the Italians win, obviously, and Mugello is just an iconic track. Had the planes flying by, all the confetti and the smoke, and just as a rider riding around, just seeing all that, I'm sure the adrenaline just high for everybody. But it's just a rider that we didn't see that was going to win the sprint. Raul Fernandez. I don't know if anyone picked that, but their periods are dialed in, and he's just on the go.
Yeah, I didn't pick him.
I don't think anybody did. I mean, wanted to see. It was also good to see Mark out there. Mark coming back after his injury, battling the way he does, and where did he finish? He finished 5th, but yeah, man, the sprint was, I should be the Jorge Martin almost took it. He's a sprint king to me. It was also good to see Pecco out there leading the front. But
yeah,
did not see Raul pulling that out at all. But that dude rolled his ass off in that race.
No doubt. I mean, Reese, is it one of those things for Raul where I'm showcasing my skill set for next year? Maybe somebody will pick me up. I didn't see it coming. I thought Aprilia would have been, Agura, Martin, and Bez in worst case. I also didn't see. I people talk about Ducati a little bit. What are your thoughts, man?
I mean, it's kind of ironic, I always say, and I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. It always happens when the guys that don't have a ride next year or don't have anything, now they want to be the fastest guy out there. I'm like, where was this in the beginning of the season or all through your career or every time? Like, where was this at? Sometimes it's better late than never, but sometimes it's just a little bit too late. Like Renz is getting fast, and then now you got, Fernandez that fast. So it's just like, I mean, I didn't expect him to be up there, but I'm happy he did get a win. That, you saw all the emotions on his face at the end of the race. You saw it. It's just like the air got sucked out of him. So congratulations to him. The Italian boys were coming. They want to be up there, like Lewis said. It's just something about that home track that just gives you that extra bit of little horsepower to do it. Mark is going to be Mark. They did show that little behind the scenes when he came in, and he was saying, I had a good pace and I was at the pace that was really good that I wanted to be at. And, they always say sometimes, a word or something can say 1,000 words, but they always say with Mark, it's just that smile that he has that says a lot. And he had that smile at the end, that normal, genuine smile that the guy has. And it's like, yeah, he's coming back. So to see him up there after the injuries and everything, it's pretty impressive what the guy can do. It's pretty impressive.
No doubt. Lewis, man, I think you might have been right on this one that Raul couldn't save his job, because it sounds like he might have been informed a couple of weeks ago that, he got to update his resume.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but this is the game. This is the entertainment business. We say it's racing, but it's racing business, and it's part of entertainment. You lose your job, you lose your seat. Even sometimes when you have good results, you just, you're not the guy that the team wants to move forward with. Maybe there's some sort of conflict inside that we don't know about. I mean, it's always smiles and hugs and kisses until Jorge Martin runs into the paddock and tries to punch one of his mechanics in the face. So we don't know what happens sometimes behind those closed doors that makes these decisions happen. But do I think Raul Fernandez is a talented rider? Obviously, I do. I mean, I think he is a very talented rider. He's shown it over the past 2 years with Aprilia, and I hope that he can find a seat somewhere else. But, seats are super limited at the MotoGP level, and it's not like new teams are coming on board or new manufacturers are coming in. And it seems like a lot of teams are looking at Moto2 and Moto3 to bring in younger talent and try to change the talent pool that we currently have and push some of the talent that's there out now, because either they haven't performed the way they expected or whatever other personal issues might be happening. Sometimes, again, it's sponsorship money. A lot of teams actually expect riders to come with some sponsors that are going to help float some of the bills and this and that. So again, you don't know. And Trackhouse is a weird team because they're an American team that won't hire Americans, which is awesome. But they love to tout how they're an American team. Their entire team is all foreigners, not a single American there. Right. And I don't see them, I checked, nobody in the grid at MotoAmerica got a call from Trackhouse to go to MotoGP. So I'm sure they're going to bring some Europeans to take the place of Agura and Fernandez and keep being the number one American team there with 0 Americans. So I wish them the worst for not supporting any U.S. riders. Fuck them.
Damn, bro.
You thought I was going positive? Nah, man.
let me ask this. I mean, it looked like Raul could have won Sunday too if he didn't run wide.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, honestly, man, I think he would have got the double, or at least he would have fought with Bez a little bit more than Martin, because I think once Bez got in front of Martin, he showed that he had that hometown half a second in his pocket. And he pulled it out and dropped it on Martin. And Martin kind of just was, relegated to second, happy with it. He didn't want to throw the bike down the road. But Raul has nothing to lose now. Like, now we know for the rest of the season, Raul has nothing to lose. So there's nothing to stop him from punting Martin into the 8th row. There's nothing to stop him from doing whatever he has to do to come out in front of Bezzecchi. Like, he could be technically the Aprilia spoiler. He could actually take points away from Bezzecchi and Martin and possibly hand the championship to somebody else in 3rd or 4th place right now. So I hope he does what he can do, because he's going to make things real. Now him and Agura, neither one of them depend on Aprilia for a job next year. So expect to see Aprilia parts flying left and right.
I don't think
that wasn't there team orders.
Not when you don't have a job. You ain't my employee no more next year.
You're still an employee today.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Not employ me? You still got to pay me. Send me home with a check.
Yeah, just don't run into each other like you did last time.
Oh, God.
Let's talk about Bez, man. I mean, I've been saying it all season so far. I mean, this guy's on another level. What are your thoughts on, shout out to Dustin because he's saying Pecco threw me one the other day for doing so well, but I don't think so. But because I thought Pecco had a good shot this weekend, but Bez seemed to be the rider that's figuring this thing out. What you thought about his pole position and overall ride, his sprint, even though he didn't win, it was still it's still pretty solid for a sprint finish for Bez as well. Your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, man, like from the start of the season, Bez has been on another level. Actually, before the start of the season last year. So his mindset is just you could tell he's focused. He's trying to win the championship. And for how he started leading consecutive laps, and he's been in the talks, and obviously you have a little bit of setback, but it's about the bounce back. And for some reason, he's just when it comes to the Grand Prix, he's showing himself, and to come here, Mugello, and bounce back and take first, even battling with Jorge Martin and Pecco. It's just showing that he's in for it. He's on another level. So to give him his props. He's not falling back. Having the struggles. Like for instance, I know Pedro hasn't won anything, but he's still having that trouble finding his way. Even when he's in the front, he still slips back. So Bez is found his way to the front and sticking there. And even when he has trouble, he finds his way to bounce back. Like when he fell in the sprints a few times and stuff like that. So
right. Reese, man, is Bez the Jalen Brown of MotoGP, where it's kind of like we they don't want to hand the throne over or the keys to him, but he's shown that look, man, I'm the guy. I may not be Pecco, I might not be Rossi, I may not be Marquez, I might not be Martin. What I'm saying? Like I came over here for scraps, and I'm doing this thing, and yet it's not. I don't even think he's being compared to Alex Marquez, much less Marc Marquez. And he seems like the guy to beat this year.
I mean, he is the guy to beat. I mean, he's not being compared to some of those guys, but remember, he did come into Aprilia as the number 2 rider with Martin. Martin came in as the number 1. He came in as number 2. So, yeah, I mean, that is, I would be the same way. I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm coming in there to prove a point where I should be this person. And I mean, he should be one of the persons I mentioned. Now he is, but he wasn't. So he still got something on his chip on his shoulder, which he's trying to prove. And he wants to win that championship to say, hey, I am that person. I'm that guy that you need to be concerned about. Because the way he rode this weekend, I mean, it was very impressive. I mean, as you saw, he got in front of Martin, and then Pecca was out leading, and he stayed on Pecca until that one last turn in Sunday's race, and said bye and checked out on him.
Yeah. Lewis, man, what are your thoughts, man? I mean, do he get his MVP title now, or he still got to put in some work to get that title? To get that,
Lewis is going to have something negative to say.
Let's go.
First of all,
Eyes on mute,
brother.
Why you think that I'm gonna say something negative?
There's a problem when you don't realize you say things negative. I think it's narcissism or something like that.
I think it's a lack of what is it? Lack of self-awareness. I mean, I for me, the I don't think that this is going to continue on this long. To be honest with you, I think the Gian Antonio is the top Ducati right now, but I don't think it's going to last for the season. To be very honest with you, I think at some point there's going to be a drop off on that.
Superman's Superman's going to come back, aka Marc Marquez.
Marc Marquez, I mean, I'm surprised that he got the places that he got this weekend. If you look in the sprint race, he was very, very competitive because it's a sprint race. It's a short race. In the full race, he was in that same zone, but towards the end, you saw that he started losing power. Like he started losing strength. He fought as much as he could for as long as he could, as well as he could. I mean, he fought really well until Agura, who doesn't have a contract with Aprilia, so he doesn't care if he throws it down the road, pushed him and Marquez really super wide in turn 10. And that's when they kind of lost contact with the people in front of them. But, I don't think that Digi is going to, again, Italian rider, he's going to do the best he can. I mean, same thing with Pecco, Italian rider, Italian round, they're going to do the best they can. But let's see if for Pecco, let's see if he can do something more consistent. Digi, he's been pretty consistent, but I think there's going to be some rounds coming up pretty soon where you're might gonna see him struggle a little bit because he's got some rounds coming up that historically he hasn't done well at. Right. These aren't tracks that he's done well at.
Right. But how about Bezzecchi and not getting the credit or should be getting more credit?
No, he should be getting more credit because this run that Bezzecchi is on is great. This goes back to after the summer break last year. Since right before the summer break and the summer break last year, he's been on this incredible run. The only thing he's got to do is he's got to figure out how to be more competitive in the sprint. I don't know if it's the way that he sets his bike up, where he sets his bike up for a longer race and doesn't have a good setup for a short race. So he struggles a little bit in the short race because he spends his qualifying and practice time really setting up for the official race, like the big points race.
Right.
Because in the sprints, he either crashes or he struggles. Like he doesn't have the same overall speed that he has in the long race. And this could just be a setup issue. Like it could just be like he's so focused on setting his bike up for a very long race that they don't set it up for a short race. Either set up the suspension, set up the electronics, like something with his setup, because it's not like he's less talented for shorter amount of laps. He should have more energy and be more talented, but something somewhere doesn't work for him. But he should still be getting massive credit. Like this dude is he's the VIP of Aprilia. Like Aprilia should be, this is why they signed him to a long-term deal so early, because they know that this is a guy they want to hitch their wagon to. He should be the VIP for MotoGP if he continues this streak of winning on Sundays. He just now needs to start winning on Saturdays also, because those Saturday points, even though they're only half points, they do add up. And this is that, those Saturday points are actually what kept Martin in the championship when he was fighting against Pecco a couple of years ago, because he was cleaning up all the sprint races and Pecco was winning most of the main races, and Pecco would never win or hardly ever win a sprint race. And at the end of the year, who won the title is the guy that picked up all those extra points in the sprints.
Right.
So they're really important. So you can't overlook them. And Bez needs to understand that, because if you look at how many points he hasn't scored in the sprint races, he should be ahead by close to 50 points by now. And he's not. And it's because of the sprint race issues.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, he did finish fourth, which I think is his best finish in the sprint so far, which is good. So hopefully he has it sorted out. Let's talk about Diego Moreira for a little bit. I mean, the guy looked really fast in the sprint race. He fought with a bunch of guys, and, he was able to pass Marquez, which he wanted to do before he retired and stuff like that. I mean, he ended up finishing, I think, what did he finish? He ended up finishing
12th in the sprint.
12th in the sprint, but he had a good
10th in the race,
and for about 6-7 laps, and he didn't make it easy. What are your thoughts, TJ, on Diego?
I mean, that boy's coming from Moto2. That boy's been impressive. He's actually really comfortable right now. You can just tell he's having fun, and it's he's just going to continue learning, and he's picking his opportunities. There's just certain things that he wants to accomplish, and the fact that he wanted to do something and he got it done. Like, just he didn't want to beat Marc Marquez. He just wanted a photo. So he made himself get in front, and he made it a moment. And it's good for the sport that Marc Marquez made it a moment as well and signed his little photo and stuff like that. But for the way he's been riding, it's been really well. Like, this guy's been riding that Honda, with good results. Especially being a rookie. So, but yeah, it was good to see him fight in the front in the sprint race, and I think in the Grand Prix. But obviously, his results were 10-11. But he's been riding really well. It's good to see him do that as a rookie.
No doubt, no doubt. Reese, I mean, what do you think of Diego? And also just the rookies in general, man, because it seems like the last couple of years, I guess with Fernandez, if you think about like when Martin and Pecco and Luca and Dez came in, they kind of struggled in the beginning. These guys are seen to having they're having some success where, it's kind of like, I'm not saying they have a perfect season where they keep climbing the ladder, but they got races where they showcase themselves. And it seems like, Diego is finding his way.
I mean, it does seem like he's finding his way. I mean, as Lewis would know too, and we all know, I mean, you have no expectations. There's no set expectations in your contract. There's no proposal where they want you to finish top 10, top 15. He probably has an open contract for his first year as a rookie to try to figure out, learn everything. So it's at that point when you have something like that, you have no pressure. You can just go out and ride and actually enjoy it, learn the bike, learn the tracks on that bike, try to figure something out. Then next year you have a different expectation. All right, you learned it. You had your 1 year of learning MotoGP. We want you now this year to finish in the top 15, which he's capable of doing all day. So with being that, I mean, he looks very impressive because he has the free will to go. So when you have that, it's a lot less pressure. It's a lot easier. You can actually enjoy it and figure out, your surroundings and figure out this bike. But the kid looks very impressive, sit there and be battling with, one of the greats, and putting a little pressure on him, even though they're back there, but he's still putting some pressure on him. So that's still impressive. That shows that this kid has the potential of, hey, we can make this kid grow. We can help this kid grow to that next level.
Right. Let me ask this: is Moto2 harder than World Superbike? Because you got Top Rock won 3 world titles, and you got Diego hasn't won a title. It can't just be the shoe, can't just be the bike.
I mean, from what you hear, Moto2 is a damn jungle, man. That is absolutely the jungle. So, I mean, look at World Superbike now. It's just one guy again, the Bulaga. Every time I see it, every time World Superbike is on, World Superbike is on, you'll see Lewis and another one and another one and another. It's just the same guy every time. That's why I don't even watch no more. I'm like, what's the point? It's just the Bulaga show.
AKA Ducati show. What are your thoughts, Lewis, on Diego and how he's riding compared to a Top Rock, at the moment as both rookies in MotoGP?
I mean, I'm super impressed. I mean, this is why Honda went out and got him. This is why Honda, took the leap of faith on this kid, because they were like, hey, this kid's the truth. Because Moto2, in my eyes, is harder than World Superbike. And I'll tell you why, because everybody's on the same bike. They all have the same motor. They have different chassis and they have different setups, but they're all on the same motor and all the ECUs are locked. So it's not like somebody has more horsepower than somebody else. They're all on spec tires. So it's not like somebody has better tires than somebody else. It's literally down to setup and the rider, and that's it. So if you could be at the top of the pile in Moto2, which is just a group of savages, I think there's like 300 guys in Moto2, because it looks like a Moto3 race sometimes, where it's like you shouldn't be passing like 5 wide on bikes this big. I can understand in Moto3 when it's like a little swarm of bees, but these aren't little bikes. These are big bikes, man, and they've got power. And most of the people say that the jump from Moto3 to Moto2 is more difficult than the jump from Moto2 to GP, because you're going from such a little bike that has very little horsepower to now a bike that has a big jump, more weight, more horsepower, and more pieces that are a little bit better aligned with GP. So this is why the feeder system from Moto2 to Moto3 to MotoGP makes sense, and why the days of bringing guys from World Superbike over to MotoGP doesn't make sense. Like, I hate to say it, but I would have told Top Rack, if I was somebody else, if he wasn't as big a name, I would have put Top Rack in Moto2. And let me see what you can do in a Moto2 bike before I give you a MotoGP bike. The only reason he went to MotoGP is because he's such a big name.
Right.
But he's proving the point that if you've never had experience in Moto2 or Moto3, and with the types of bike that they're racing versus a converted production bike into a race bike, versus a purebred race bike like a Moto2 bike, a Moto3 bike, and a MotoGP bike, you're going to have issues. And this is where Top Rack is struggling now. And Diego's having success because he's on a Honda. It's not the greatest bike. It's getting better. Top Rack's on a Yamaha. That was mistake number one that he made, is so desperate to get the GP that he'll take any shit box. And he was like, I'm going to take the best shit box of all the shit boxes. Come on. Give me the shittiest shit box. That's the one I want. Just make sure there's a lot of zeros on that check. Because I know I'm going to be looking at the asses of a lot of bikes for a long time because I'm going to be finishing 17th, 18th, 19th place. Dude, Quartararo quit on life this weekend. An ex-MotoGP champion literally said, yeah, I gave all my ambition left on Friday afternoon. He's like, I had no ambition whatsoever. I have nothing else.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, man, because you're getting paid, but that's the difference. So let me ask this, and all you guys, you guys can chime in. You just talked about Top Rack and World Superbike. You look at Gonzalez, and he's leading Moto2 right now. Came over from the Superbike class as far as the 300 and Super Sport winning the title and coming to Moto2, and you see what he's doing. But from the rumor mills, it sounds like they don't want to put this guy in MotoGP. And it seems like he got everything to go fast. Your thoughts? We'll start with Luke, and then we'll go back around.
Start with me?
Yeah, we'll start with you.
Oh God!
Oh, hey.
You don't have enough time, is what you're saying?
No, I mean, Bulaga is going to end up in GP,
right?
And not only is he going to be more successful than Top Rack because one, he's going to a better bike. But two, he actually has Moto2 and Moto3 experience. Right, so he's not coming in completely blind.
Right, I'm saying Gonzalez, though. Manuel Gonzalez. From
what? World Super Sport? Or World Superbike?
He's in Moto2 right now. He's leading championship. He's leading championship. No.
I'm sorry.
It sounds like he's not. He may not get a seat in MotoGP. Is what it sounds like. And like, what's wrong with that guy after winning, and showing like I'm the fastest Moto2 guy in the jungle.
Being the fastest don't always guarantee you a job, man. Sometimes it's who you know more than what you know.
Yeah,
that's life in general. There's a lot of people that have positions that you're like, that guy's dumb as a rock. How do you get that position? He knew somebody that had some money in their pocket that got him into that position. Manu Gonzalez maybe has a bad manager that nobody likes. Maybe he's asking for something that's unrealistic for somebody that's, of his age and of his talent moving into MotoGP. Maybe some of the teams just don't want to deal with him. Like, there is more to moving from Moto2 to MotoGP than just winning a championship. If that was the case, every single Moto2 world champion would have a GP bike, and that hasn't been the case in the history of Moto2. There's been champions that never got a Moto2 ride. A MotoGP ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's been guys that have finished in 12th place that have gone to MotoGP during Binder. So, Quartararo. So it's not just winning a championship doesn't guarantee you a spot in MotoGP. Alex Marquez almost didn't have a spot in MotoGP, and he was a two-time Moto2 champion. He had to stay there an extra year, race again, and then have his brother twist the arm of Honda to get him out of Moto2.
Right. Same thing with Zarco. Zarco is back-to-back world title.
Yeah. You know who was the first Moto2 world champion? Tony Elias. He dropped from MotoGP back to Moto2 because he couldn't get a ride, and he never made it back to MotoGP, even as the inaugural Moto2 champion. So being Moto2 champion is a cool trophy to have, but it doesn't guarantee you a job in MotoGP.
Yeah, Remy Gardner. What are your thoughts, man, TJ, on that? Should we, reorganize the policies in MotoGP and say, listen, man, if you're one of the top guys, you deserve a seat. Screw the connections.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're one of the top guys, you deserve like a ballot or something, but like, I don't know if it's like the timing of what seat is available or what the manufacturer, like the contract is setting of what they expect out of what they're trying to accomplish. So maybe he's not the rider for them for whatever manufacturer he's trying to go for. Who knows? I'm sure he's trying to get a seat from any manufacturer, but we don't know the insiders. He's probably just like, oh, I only want to ride for this team or something. Who knows? But
Right.
it could be just like a contract clause, whatever, where like I expect you to come in and do this, but I don't think you're ready for it. So like we can't decide you right now. So, but yeah, it's kind of odd that some riders like Lewis just mentioned that like Fabio and those guys that didn't finish well and still was able to get into MotoGP, and some riders who were took longer to get into MotoGP after being back-to-back champions like Alex Marquez. So,
Right.
but yeah, it's just kind of odd how the contracts work.
Yeah, Reese. I mean, is it time to make mandatory? All the manufacturers got to have a minimum of 8 bikes, so that way we got enough seats for the talent in Moto2. Or it's just, I mean, you look at football, or I mean, you can't look at football because look what happened to Shador. But normally, when you're the top guys, you normally get a seat at the table, even for a year or two as a rookie.
No, I don't think we're at that point where we need to have 8 bikes per manufacturer on the grid. That'd be ridiculous, man. Too many bikes on the grid. It'd be a lot of overlapping.
It's like Jersey. What are you talking about, man?
Nah, man, 'cause that gets kind of sketchy after a while. That's you'd be like, all right, there's too many bikes. That's a lot. But no, I mean, it's sad that you'll see that like some of the top riders don't get a chance in the MotoGP. And then you'll get the lower guys in there. But like Lewis said, it could be you can have a shitty manager, you can have a shitty attitude. You could be hard to work with. It's a whole bunch of different scenarios. Once those curtains go shut, man, the garage door closes, you don't know what goes on in there, man. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You don't know who this guy is. There's a different level behind the garage doors when they close or in meetings. And some people just don't belong there. It's like he's a good rider, but he's not a talented rider. He's a good rider at this point, but he's not a talented rider. I mean, Aaron Canet has never moved yet.
I was going to bring him up, and
he's
I think
never moved.
Yeah, I think with Aaron Canet, I think he's been jaded because he hasn't moved. I think he's just. I think there's a part of him that's like, I'm not going to get to MotoGP, and you might not, outwardly saying I'm going to, take a seat back, but sometimes it just happens because you kind of just get deflated. Right,
but isn't he the one, from what I remember, the break?
No, it wasn't him. It was
who was it?
Fanati. Yeah.
Fanati. There it is, Fanati. But again, you just haven't gotten there.
For Canet is what they're saying. Too many tattoos.
Yeah, that's what it is. Too many tattoos. Or he needs one more tattoo in the right place, and boom, all of a sudden he's got it. Right.
He's got tattoos all the way up his neck. I'm like, what the heck, man? Then wear a bow tie, to the grid. Like I'm wearing a bow tie. Like what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's tricky. And unfortunately,
And we should just stop saying somebody deserves. This isn't preschool. Nobody deserves anything. It's what you negotiate. If you have a better negotiating team, if you have a better position to negotiate from, winning a championship is a nice position to negotiate from, but you don't deserve anything because you won a championship. You just won that championship. That's all you deserve is whatever is in your contract for that year during that season that you pre-negotiated with your manager. That's the only thing that you deserve is to get paid what's in the contract. Beyond that, nobody deserves anything. You have to negotiate for it. So you put yourself in the best position to negotiate, and then you go negotiate. And if somebody doesn't like what you're negotiating, then you don't get a job. That's it. Okay. I think I deserve to be the CEO of Apple. It ain't going to happen. I think I put myself in the right position. But I don't think I deserve it.
Like, what are you designing?
You're gonna be, get Washington apples. You're gonna, grow apples and sell them at the market.
Apple picking, maybe.
Like, what are you designing?
New futuristic apples.
That's what I think I deserve. I ain't getting it because I can't negotiate for it.
Fair enough. Deserve might not be the right word, but I think I think the guy is proven that he's one of the top guys, and you're you can't force any business owner to do something they don't want to do. And that's the unfortunate side. And we see it in MotoAmerica, we see it on all the stages with riders that fall through the crack, and then you see other guys that's been in Formula One forever, and they just still have a job, and it's just kind of like, really, but
Yeah.
I like Formula One. I'm not picking on them. Let's talk about Ducati. Pecco seems to be figuring out that 26 bike fairly well. Digia seems to be the guy, though. We're not even at the summer break yet. So, I mean, what are your thoughts, TJ, on how the Ducatis are doing? I'll go with that. I'm not gonna. It's too early to start picking winners, and plus we'll talk about the scores before we get out of here.
I mean, they've been struggling as of late, but DG's been definitely, keeping them together. It was good that they were at Mugello. Pecco seems to shine a little bit here. He did perform really good. Towards the end of the race, did slip back a little bit. But Mark did fairly well from his injury, and Digi finishing fifth in the Grand Prix. So I think Ducati found something that they can probably improve on going into this weekend's round. But they still got a long way to go because they were very close to locking it out. I think Pecco saved it from Aprilia having a lockout. Just probably at the last lap, Igor was coming. So, but I still think they found something because usually, they'll have more DNFs or someone something's going on, or bent rim from Mark or something like that. So
right.
this year hasn't been hasn't been going as they planned.
Right.
It's been getting better.
Nice. I mean, Reese, let me ask this: do you think Pecco being able to pass back Agura and finish on the podium is one equivalent to Bobby passing JD, and what does that mean for a rider that's kind of been struggling and kind of like will themselves up on the podium essentially, because that's kind of what happened in both situations, I think.
I mean, that just gives that rider, a boost and a confidence going into the next round. That's what it definitely does. It gives you that boost, that confidence, saying that I can still do this, that I was good here. I overcame, got on the podium, got the top results, and, try to piggyback off of that. That's what that does. I mean, for Pekka, I mean, he needed that. He needed a boost of confidence because his mental state was just down the gutter. No front end feel, same thing as always, no front end feel, but that's every rider. Every rider complains about front end feel. I've never heard not one rider say they don't complain about front end feels. So
right.
That's what it is.
No, Lewis, all right, go ahead, man. You seem, I don't even have to ask the question. Go ahead.
No, I'm glad to see that Pecco is starting to put together. But again, this is a track that he loves. This is a track where hometown people find that extra half second, find that extra confidence. The mechanics in the garage that are Italian are working a little bit harder. Everybody's a little bit more dialed in because you're at your home track. You want to win here. Like everything's heightened. Let's just see if he can carry this on to the next couple of rounds because he kind of is the guy that needs to carry the factory Ducati flag for a few rounds because I think as good as Marquez did, finishing in the top 10 both races and not crashing and being competitive, he's not at 100%. I will say he's probably maybe out there at 70%. And at 70%, Marquez is still better than 99% of the riders in the world. And at 100%, that's when he's, he looks unbeatable. But Pecco needs to step up. I know that he's already got a contract to go somewhere else. But there's still a lot of money on the table for this year. There's still a lot of things that he wants to do. I'm sure he wants to finish as top Ducati as he leaves the factory team, as he leaves Ducati. He wants to finish on a good note, not a bad note. And just kind of, maybe a little twist the screws on them a little bit for not signing him earlier, for not doing all the things that he thought they would do for him. And, it's good to leave on top when you're leaving somewhere so they know what they're missing out on.
Right. Listen, I'm already on record as saying I think, Ducati had a good program up until 2024. And they're making changes, and maybe it's for the 27th season or whatever the case may be. But they've let some good riders go, and
if things go the way they go, if the rumors are true for the riders they're going to have next year, it's going to be a major, major change for Ducati, because I think it's going to be the first time, and I don't know, I think since the inception, that Ducati will not have an Italian rider on the factory team. And to me, that's a real changing of the guard. Maybe that comes from the top down, from Audi, superseding everything else. I don't know, but that's wild to me that, an Italian team doesn't have at least one Italian rider on the factory bike.
Right. And the weird thing is, like, you've been winning championships for the last, titles for the last 4 years. Like, not to say if it ain't broken, why fix it, but like, you might not win it this year.
Yep. And I don't think they're going to win it with Digi, as he's going to battle to be the top Ducati, but I don't think he's going to battle for wins on a regular basis. I think the wins on a regular basis are going to be Bezzecchi and Martin are going to probably swap wins from here on out for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. If Marquez gets healthy, he might grab a couple of podiums and a couple of wins from here to there, and maybe Pecco can maybe grab one or two. But even this race, this was his opportunity to win it. And when the time came to pull the pin, it wasn't him that pulled the pin. It was Aprilia that pulled the pin with Bez, and they just left him in the dust, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he went from first to finishing third and almost finishing off the podium altogether. So that just goes to show you that either him or the bike or just the combination, they're getting better, but they still got something to find, because they're definitely missing out in a few places.
No doubt. Talking about missing out, Cal Crutchlow, they dusted him off. He came out. I thought I was seeing things when I saw the post and stuff like that. What are your thoughts of LCR bringing, Kyle out? I mean, is this to sell more, number 35 apparel? Merch. And I love Kyle. I mean, he has a good vibe. It's kind of like MotoGP before what it is, like the guys with that kind of mentality. He kind of reminds me of Michael Dunlop in some ways, because they care about racing and they don't care about the show. What are you guys' thoughts of seeing Cal out there? We'll start with TJ.
I mean, for me, I know he's one of the legend riders, old school rider, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, what else? I'm sure they got another test rider they can bring out, but
he's going to be here at the next round too, by the way. So he's going to be there this weekend coming up. He got 2 weekends.
But yeah, I mean, he's pulling out last place or DNS. So I mean, it's good to see him out there. I mean, you can get some type of data.
Right.
That's probably about it. I mean, he ain't gonna get. Hopefully, he can get a point, maybe. But yeah, I don't like. He's not really on the pace of anybody. So
right.
It's like, so it's just out there.
Right. I mean, Reese, why does this happen? I mean, guy's been out now 5 years out of racing. Test rider. He was a test rider for Yamaha. I don't know how. I know he rode for LCR and stuff like that, but interesting to see. I mean, what is the benefit of bringing a rider out, or other than having us talk about it and having fans that were fans of his be excited to see him? I mean, I think Pedrosa, when Pedrosa have done wild cards to fill in, it has done top 10. So that's kind of like, that's what we want to see. But what are your thoughts when you see teams do this?
I mean, just like you said, so that last bit that's in that warehouse, that last 35 merchant just get out of the warehouse. That's it. But I mean, no, you had somebody that's a test rider, has been in the game for such a long time. That's probably still a little bit quick, or still has the knowledge and the mental capacity to go that fast. So, just to get somebody out there that can actually run and actually give you some more data back to revamp your bike, especially now getting ready to come into 2027, to give, you got Aleix out right now for Honda. He's still hurt, but you got to get that one rider that's going to give you some feedback so you can actually start gearing up to get ready for that 27 season.
So does this say like, Zarco is that important that we need to bring the professor out to come and give us test this equipment to tell us what's going on, because Diego's not there yet to kind of give you the feedback that the team needs to move on.
Diego's not there. I mean, Zarco is there. I mean, Zarco can do it, but at the point, Zarco's actually racing.
Right.
Crutchlow's coming in as a fill-in where he has no obligations. He has no expectations to win, to do anything. So at that point in time, you can actually test out new parts. You can try new parts that you're allowed to test.
Gotcha. Okay, Lewis, what are your thoughts, man? Good to see Cal out there. Number 35. Is that your race number?
No, that's not my race number, man. No, I like seeing him out there. I've always been a Cal Crutchlow fan. He's always been one of the more outspoken riders. But in the paddock, it seems like everybody and every team always liked him. And maybe this is another reason why he's there. He raced for that team for a long time. He knows all the principles there, all the mechanics, all the techs. He knows, Lucanelli and everybody that runs LCR. And if you're going to call somebody up to fill in, you want to call somebody up that you enjoy working with or you worked with in the past. And maybe that's another reason. He left a very good taste in their mouth. They like him. And if they're going to have to reach out to somebody, instead of reaching out to somebody that they don't know, that has no experience on the bike, that's never ridden with them, hey, let's reach out to this guy that we know. We actually like him. We respect his opinion. We respect his feedback. And let's see if he wants to, fill in for a couple of rounds. I mean, I think he had the quote of the weekend is he started the race on Saturday, and he actually finished the second half of the race on Sunday. So he completed one full race if you take all the laps between what he did on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
So he's a character. It's good to see him in the paddock. He's not going to be a big difference, to be honest with you. Like, he's not going to be, the top Honda rider. If he is, be super shocked. But at least like Reese was saying, they take this opportunity to work with somebody, maybe try some setups that they haven't tried before, do some other stuff, because it's not really a race weekend for them. It's almost like a live test and tune. So it's kind of like having a wild card rider where you just have them come in to really test some stuff on that track that you want to test, but you can't do it in any other situation. So now you have a wild card rider for 2 weekends. It's able to go out there and maybe try different pivot joints, different swing arm, different this, different that, as long as it's allowed within the rules.
Okay, all right, no doubt. Well, racing comes back again this weekend, so looking forward to it in Hungary for MotoGP. I mean, I like when there's no break. Before we get out of here, let's talk about this past round. Lewis, again, you're world traveler, got a couple of DNFs again because you didn't get it in on time. Reese, man,
work,
I mean, what you've been talking to people like
That's what happens when you bet against Yamaha. You start to win.
Hey! I never bet against Blue. Never.
Some good numbers. Let me see if I can get this. Oh, there you go. Look at that. So Reese, man, I mean, you're almost catching me. You know what I'm saying? I know you're gonna be away for a couple of rounds, so don't get no DNFs now.
Oh nah. We ain't get no DNF. Ain't gonna get no DNF. Trust me.
I think a month ago you were down and out, but now you 19 points behind. Pretty wild.
That's one round, one race.
We're gonna see. Speaking of, let's get our picks for this round, and then we'll get out of here for the night. As always, TJ, you ready?
Yeah, let's give this a go. I'm gonna have to go with the sprint. For some reason, if Mark's back, I think he's gonna be in that sprint podium, and Bezzecchi and Martin. So I'm gonna say Bezzecchi, Martin, and Mark. For the GP, I have to say Martin, Bezzecchi, and Digi. I'm gonna go with Digi again.
Okay, all right. I like that. I messed around and picked all Italians last time, so I didn't get all the points I should have got. What are you going with this week, Reese?
For the sprint, I'm gonna have to go with Martin, Digi, and
Raul
Ferrandez. Yeah, Raul.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with that. For the race, I'm definitely going with Bezecchi, Martin, and Hungary. We're gonna go. So we're gonna go with Mark.
What?
I'm gonna go out the limb. I'm gonna go out with limb on this.
All right. Going once, going twice.
I'm gonna go.
Lewis, man, you've been taking notes. What you got?
For the sprint, I'm going to do Martin for the W. I'm going to do Agura second, and I'm going to put Marquez third.
Okay.
And then for the actual race, I'm going to put Bez at the front, and I'm going to put Hungry. I'm going to put Bez, Pecco, and Martin.
Okay, I like that. All right. What am I doing for the sprint? I'm gonna go with Digia because he's fast, late pace. I'm gonna throw Bezecchi in there because I think he's figuring it out as well. And I want to say Raul, but I'm gonna go with Agura because he got good late pace race as well, and in the sprint and in the race. So, and in the main race, I'm gonna go with Bez, Agura, and I go with Martin. So, we shall see. The Aprilia's been going well this season so far. So, until it's broken. Right? There you go, fellas. All right, man. I mean, we got racing. Reese, you got some time off until the end of the month.
I got time off till Laguna, man. I'm not making it to the Ridge. I got other engagements I got to do.
So
big engagements, literally.
Right. Well, hey, listen, man. We'll try to fill in for you. Drop off the uniform. I'll grow the mustache out a little bit. Shoes on. I'll get the shirt on, and I can be Reese for the day.
There you go. That's it. They say we all look alike. So
I thought instead of turning the tire warmer machine up, I'll turn it down.
That's it.
That's it, man. Nah, it's a good time. My name is Rex 45. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. I want to thank TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee, Reese from Attack Yamaha, Lewis, the real Lewis Ortega, the numbers guy. Peace.
Peace.